A sequence has got nth term given by cos of 90 times n. We need to find the order of this sequence. So let's just write down the first few terms of this sequence. So A1 would be cos of 90 times 1, so cos of 90, which we know is 0. A2 will be cos of 90 times 2, which is 180, and we know that cos of 180 is minus 1. We'll do that for the next two terms. So cos of 90 times 3 is 270. Cos of 270 is 0. Cos of 90 times 4, so cos of 360 is going to be 1. And this will keep going, which hopefully actually makes sense. Remember, the cos graph looks like this. 90, 180, 270, 360. So the next term, the fifth term, when it would be cos 450, is going to be 0 again. So we can see that this is periodic. It repeats itself, and it's going to repeat itself every 4 terms, because it goes here, 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 and then repeats that pattern again. Here, 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 and repeats, and so on and so on. So it is order 4. And that's the answer to the first question. Part B says we want the sum from the first term up to the 444th term. Well, we know that it repeats itself every 4 terms. And if I want 444 terms, well, that's just going to be 111 lots of this. I will have this sequence here repeating 111 times to get 444 terms in total. So I could just say I'm going to have 111 lots of whatever the sum here is. The sum here is actually 0. So if the first 4 terms add up to 0, then the second 4 terms will add up to 0, and then the next 4 terms will add up to 0, and so on and so on and so on. So in fact, all 444 terms will just add up to 0. If the question had said from 1 to 446, then I would look at that and think, well, I know 4 goes into that 111 times, with 2 terms left over. So I'd work out the sum of the first 444 terms, which I've done there already, which I know is 0, and then add the sum of the next 2 terms to that. The next 2 terms, the 445th term and the 446th term, will be those 2 numbers. So 0 plus 0 plus minus 1 would be minus 1. And that's how we can work out the sum of periodic sequences.